This is it. You wanted the best and you got it. The most insane, all-in music universe that's ever been. Welcome, lads and ladies, to the very first public hat tip to the Discograffiti Patreon sphere. If you're like me, and enough's just never enough, then you just stepped in shit, my friends. You can now visit patreon.com/discograffiti and become one of our Patreon soldiers of sound. I'm not going to mince words here. Our Patreon feed is going to be the last word in deep dive music obsession. There are multiple tiers available through which to gain entry to the psychedelically mind-melting music funhouse of Discograffiti's Patreon. Find the most expensive tier that's right for you so we can keep this thing owned and operated for us and by us. Today's surprise episode, Battle Royale, is a King of the Hill type episode where our biggest fans come face to face with me and dare to battle me on such hot topics as tonight's. You too can be a part of Battle Royale. Just visit patreon.com/discograffiti and sign up today. Welcome to Discograffiti's Battle Royale! Tonight's premiere episode, the Eagles Hotel California LP, with special guest David Tabachman. Just to give you a brief little summary of what we got going here, this is a rock fight. Not your regular old rock fight down at the Quarry. No, this is more like a cousin to queasy listening. But imagine the fundamental difference here is that sweet, sweet dissent that brews between two music lovers. Queasy listening, we are united in our hatred. This is more like high school debate club with some nerdy rock fans. And in one corner, at 170-something pounds, Dave Gabbro, the host of Discograffiti. He's in his 3-year-old child's bedroom, and he hates the Eagles Hotel California LP with all his soul. In the other corner, at an undisclosed pandemic rate, we have David Tabachman, TV and film composer, Emmy-nominated songwriter, recording artist for kids with 5 albums under his belt, multi-instrumentalist, cocktail pianist that plays everything from Gershwin and Cole Porter to Nirvana and Hendrix. He is a massive Mark David Chapman-style Discograffiti fan, a musician, husband, dad, son, friend, and a foolish lover of latter-era Eagles. He is a music writer with about 50 published articles for Aesthetic Lens magazine, one of them called In Defense of the Fucking Eagles. Welcome, David.
Hey, Dave. Glad to be here.
Dave, it's good to have you on the other side of the veil.
I hope you're wearing a helmet.
I hope you're wearing a cup.
Yes. Yeah, man.
So I want to know, first off, were you involved in any kind of a high school debate club?
Well, I was in a logic class, and I would de-pants the teacher regularly.
Nice.
So I think that counts.
Wait a second. What kind of punishment do you get for de-pantsing a teacher? That's massive punishments.
It was the 70s, so, you know.
A lot of things slid.
Right.
You are, I met you because of your patronage of the show, and which I very much appreciate, and thought this would be an incredible way for us to get going and sort of like, really like pull in the community by tearing us apart with our really ferocious opinions.
Yes, it's like a tackle football situation.
It is.
That's how I forged many friendships. That's
right. Neurological impairments will be incurred.
Right.
Okay. David Tabachman and I can maybe agree on a bunch of stuff involving the Eagles and Hotel California. Here's a few things I'm going to throw out there, David, that I think we might agree on. It was released on December 8th, 1976 by Asylum Records. It was recorded by Bill Szymczyk at the
Sismic.
Whatevs,
right,
at the Criteria and Record Plant Studios between March and October 76. Can we agree on that?
Yes, okay.
All right, so can we agree this is their first album with Joe Walsh?
Yes.
Can we agree that he replaced founding member and resident pussy Bernie Ledden?
That's what I understand, yes.
Okay, can we also agree this is the last album to feature founding bassist Randy Meisner?
That's right.
Okay, good. Can we also agree that for this piece of shit record, I know that part you don't agree on, but the rest of it maybe you will, that the band made a conscious decision to move away from their meat and potatoes of country rock and wrote some songs that are more rock and roll, like Victim of Love and Life in the Fast Lane?
Well, with the exception of Try and Love Again, Randy Meisner's song on side 2, that sounds like the old Eagles, country rock.
Okay. Can we also agree there were 3 singles from this record? The first was New Kid in Town. It reached number 1. Then Hotel California, it reached number 1. Then Life in the Fast Lane, it reached number 11. It's also one of the best-selling albums of all time. It's been certified 26 times platinum in the U.S., 32 million copies sold worldwide, and the most hysterical thing about it is it's only their second best-selling album after their greatest hits 71 to 75.
Right
it's
on.
Considered one of the greatest albums of all time, however erroneously. And Henley, in a 1982 interview, said the Eagles probably peaked on Hotel California. After that, we started growing apart as collaborators and friends. Okay, now, tell me why this album is so fucking great.
Well, this is a situation where it's hard to get fresh ears on this album because it's so overplayed. And I used to listen to it a lot when it was released. But I've listened to it a few times in preparation for this, and I think it's their only great album. I think we can agree that before Hotel California, they were a singles band.
Yeah,
and
yes.
They really don't have any album tracks, beloved album tracks, which we love
I'd say
so much.
their best album was probably Desperado before this, but I'm not going to go to the mat defending early or latter day Eagles because they don't need me.
Well, I think it's a Holly situation like we battled about before, which is, I love the Hollies' music. I don't know that they can qualify as a great band because they don't have a single great album, right? And I think without Hotel California, the Eagles would be in the same classification.
It's just the blood. So here's, when I really was thinking about it, because what we strive to do here is not just say, this sucks, or just adopt an attitude, but why does it suck? I'm going to tell you why this sucks. The themes. So here's what Don Henley describes the themes that run through all their work: loss of innocence, the cost of naivete, the perils of fame, of excess, exploration of the dark underbelly of the American dream, idealism realized and idealism thwarted, illusion versus reality. I could go on and on. Mainly, though, the fading away of the 60s dream of peace, love, and understanding. So this is a 60s hangover band, a self-styled 60s hangover band, that really what they found was the vinculum, the unending vinculum of hedonism. And in order to drape something meaningful over that, they beat this theme to death of this cocaine cowboy mysticism that, to me, okay, fine, it held some water with the early singles, but by the time you get to like anyone who is going to be rocking out and like calling it partying, will be doing so to Life in the Fast Lane, and probably has a Celtic armband on as well. Probably there's no other tattoo style that would make sense for that person.
Well, I don't know why you're complaining about the themes. For me, that's what elevates this album. Is that it plays like a novel. It's like a concept album without all the stupid trappings of a concept album.
Listen, as a Jew, I can tell you, shamefully, that my favorite protein is carnitas. And so for the title track, to refer to it as colitis or like colitis, or I don't even know what he's saying. Whatever it is, it's some kind of gastrointestinal response to eating carnitas.
It's a flower. Come on, you know that, right?
But he's saying carnitas.
No, he says this warm smell of colitas, which is some kind of a flower.
I'm pretty sure it's carnitas. I think he's just adopting his own Eagles like.
It's like jasmine or something, but I think it's a misstep because it's who the hell knows what he's talking about. It's not a good way to start a song. It's a little cryptic.
Right.
But from that point on, I think it's kind of cool, that song. I mean, obviously, it's just dripping with, baggage because we've heard it so many times.
There's one song I like on this album.
Oh,
Okay,
dude.
I will concede to that, okay? But it's not something I would ever put on. And I will say that just because I like Hitler's paintings does not make me a supporter of the Holocaust.
Man. Well, I'm extremely biased towards this album because I'm in love with Don Felder's guitar playing. You know. But then again, man, I like rock.
No,
and I
Felder's-
like lead playing. I like lead guitar.
Okay, I like rock. Let's just talk about what you said, though, okay?
Yeah?
To me, this is not really rock. This is like the bloated morning after a rock show. This is like, wasted days thinking about wasted nights.
Oh, come on.
Come on. Is that anything you can connect with? I can't.
The trading of those lead guitar trades at the end of Hotel California, it's like the best thing that's happened in lead guitar training since like the Beatles' The End, right?
And by the way, I am a Joe Walsh Barnstorm fan.
Uh-huh.
All the early Joe Walsh stuff I really like, and then I don't believe that. Obviously, the Eagles were very good to him, but creatively, it's kind of that's where the road ends for me as far as Joe Walsh goes.
Well, when he and Felder are facing off, trading lead guitar licks at the end of Hotel California, I'm like thanking whoever put these people together. I think it's an incredible moment. Although we've heard it so often, every one of those licks is memorable, melodic. It's and you can hear their styles.
Look, it's obviously well played, but everything about it just feels so. It feels very smug. Everything Don Henley touches, frankly, feels a little smug to me. But then you like just listening to the ending, the
Last Resort.
The bloated drift of that ending, which, by the way, reminds me of something like Desperados Under the Eaves, but with literally all the drama sucked right out of it so that it just wafts in the air with no real direction.
I don't know, man. I get the emotional pull. I get what they're trying to do. This may be sentimental for me because, I had this when I was a youth, and it worked its magic on me.
If you need to cry, I will edit it out just as a friend. The second side too is really, even if you were like to jump through this connection and bitch slap me with a white glove, I still would say, okay, fine. Side one, at least you have Hotel California, New Kid in Town, and Life in the Fast Lane, Wasted Time. Side two, what do you have?
Great side.
No, you don't really have anything. Yeah, okay, so you have songs that everyone knows. By the way, how about that blank spot bass fart before the chorus in Wasted Time? Okay, so side two is the inarguably bad, bland, and faceless side. You have Wasted Time Reprise, which I
think of as their...
Which ironically wastes even more of my time.
But I think of it as kind of their ELO moment. It's that.
Sure.
It's like an ELO intro that sets up Victim of Love, which is another banger. You don't think so, but.
No, it's the only one where I was like, you know what, I'm not even going to write notes for this one. But here's the main thing that I want to come back to, and this is my outro.
Yeah.
I don't have to have the last word because my last word is going to be extremely elegant, so you can have the last word. So the difference between Neil Young's Tonight's the Night and the Eagles' Hotel California with regard to telling the whole truth and nothing but the truth, the good, the bad, and the ugly about the subtext and ramifications of the 1960s drug culture hangover is the same corollary as Syd Barrett Madcap Laughs versus Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon. One of them is on the inside looking out, and the other one feels untouchable and trapped in amber and not very real. It feels removed. It feels like they're removed from themselves emotionally while writing it, while I feel like Tonight's the Night is such a living, breathing document that it had no choice but to be shelved for a couple years. So he can make sure that it was a sound career move to even release it.
Yeah.
Hotel California is a flat cake.
Well, that's such an unfair comparison. I mean, obviously, Tonight's the Night is a total masterpiece, And this is a very well worked bit of. I mean, I wouldn't say this is pure craft. I think it's got content as well as craft. It's not all the way into yacht rock or anything.
There's some good moments that actually display yacht rock moves. I think New Kid in Town is, the Johnny Come Lately section.
Yeah,
that's yacht rock all the way.
I totally love that song.
It's a good song.
It's my favorite Eagles song. It's so well written. It's got this narrative that, and it has twists and turns in it that correspond with the music. Like there's a key change in the bridge, and that's just when the knife goes into the guy, when suddenly he's no longer the new kid. Tears on your shoulder means that his girlfriend is already fucking somebody else, right?
If you just did you just quote Henley?
I did.
I'ma stab you. Oh man, look, I'm curious.
No, I think it's J.D. Souther and Glenn Frey mostly on this song.
Look, I just love the idea of these guys just driving around LA with the top down and like $1,000 bills floating into the air, like them not even noticing it, and just ruminating on how lame everything is now that the '60s are over. It's just such a shitty.
Well, I was talking about New Kid in Town, which is a little bit of a different thing.
I know, but I'm using this comment as a shield against liking that song because, again, I know it's a Hitler painting. Yeah. I respect you, and my respect for you almost makes you think that I can see your point of view, but not quite. So thank you so much for coming on. And David, you are one of the greatest human beings objectively that I've ever come across.
Hey, can I just give you my last thoughts on this?
Yes.
I know you're going to say goodbye, but let me just. Okay, this is what I think is. I mean, what's there to dislike here? There's great guitar, some truly fantastic singing, lyrics that are thematically tied, excellent production that is, yes, fastidious, but it breathes with life and it's still organic. Unlike what evolved into yacht rock, this is very much content over craft. I said that before. And of the 8 songs, 4 of them are downright incredible to me. I'm including The Last Resort because that has the undertow for me, the emotional disappointment. I feel all the themes. I think it's great. And then the other 4 are big keepers. There's no skipperoos on this song, as you would say, on this album, as you would say.
I totally disagree. But
so it's pretty consistent in terms of quality and a nice variety of songs and feels and a mix of lead singers, which is a nice feature of an album.
That is.
I give it 4.5 stars, only because if I gave it 5 stars, it would have to go stand alongside albums that I couldn't live without. I
don't give albums like this stars.
And the album,
I throw Chinese throwing stars at them.
And the album as a novel thing really elevates Hotel California to me, very similar in a way that Pet Sounds does.
Wow, that's lofty words indeed. Look, as my dad likes to say, that's what makes horse racing. However, this is an objective forum. You are wrong, but thank you so much for joining it. And please comment below. Let us know who you think is right here. And don't say David because we're both named David. So write Gebroe, Gebroe, or Tobocman, Tobocman. Thanks so much for joining us on Discography's Battle Royale!